the same time the week number 7. So mas okay na yung uh, we are done with the learning materials in advance. Let us also post week number 7. Week number 7. Okay, so here we go. Week number 6 and number 7. But uh, the learning material that was discussed last meeting was week number 4, no? The fundamentals of an intelligent system. Now let us proceed with week number 5, and then uh, I I guess we're done already with week number 5. Tama ba? Yung solving problems by searching. Parang naalala ko tapos na 'to. Am I correct? Number 5. Are we done with week number 5? The solving problems by searching, or not yet? Hindi pa ba? Anyone can recall? Are we done with this one? Are we done with this one? Last Saturday? Anyone? I guess we're done with this.
Yes po sir, parang natakil
Oo,
lang ako.
natakil na natin 'to. So, let's proceed with week number 6, no? So, week number 6 tayo. Week number 6. Ito. Okay, so for week number 6, no, we are going to discuss the topic under expert systems, no, for artificial intelligence. By the way, I have announcement for CS 4B, no? Alin alin nga dito ang CS 4B? Can you raise your hand so I can identify kung ito bang nasa left side or right side Google Meet? Okay, yung nasa left side. Okay, you may now lower your hand. So CS4B. For CS4B, let me inform the section that by next Saturday, you will be having na, no? Kasi 'di ba wala pa kayong prof, so kaya sinabay ko yung section ninyo. You will be having your new, faculty. So wait for a moment. Okay, so let me continue my announcement. By next Saturday, no, for CS4B, you will be having your assigned faculty. No, she is a MSCS also, no, Master of Science in Computer Science, and then at the same time a doctor, no, of Information Technology. So uh, her name is, kalimutan ko yung first name, but the family name is Aquino. Um, so by next Saturday, no, I'm gonna introduce to you your new professor for CS4B. Kasi ayun, siya yung magiging ano. But while waiting for your assigned faculty or assigned professor, so that's the reason why I still conduct classes your section. So there will be no missing discussions, no, for you to be able also to be with uh, midterm examination during the examination schedule. So you will be having regular discussions pa rin. So you are not missing any discussions because we are still including your section during our class. So by next week, expect that you will be having your new professor for CS4B. For CS4C, it will retain under my schedule. CS4B will be having their new professor. Kasi wala pa talagang faculty ang CS4B. So, yun na yun. So, but the important is you are not missing your classes, no? Continuous pa rin. So don't worry because we are using the same, no, learning material because I also forwarded the learning material that uh, I am using. So we are in a centralized discussion. So whatever being discussed under my handled schedule, same also with the discussions of your new professor. So walang pinagkaiba dun sa discussion. I have already sent the learning materials, and the content of your midterm examination will rely on the learning materials that I have also and I have sent also to your new professor. So if I were you, you may also start reviewing all the learning materials now from week 2 up to week number 8. Diyan lang umiikot, diyan lang tayo umuhugot ng midterm examination ninyo. Okay? So it's more on questions now related to what is being included in your learning material. So that's the very we call this hint, or we call this pointers to review for your midterm examinations. It's more on theoretical, it's more on situational questions based on the learning materials that what we have. No? So kapag yun, inumpisahan nyo ng review, most likely will be getting a higher grades, no, during your examination. Okay? So for that, I have already announced that the CS4B will be having their new professor by next Saturday. Okay, so you may also welcome your professor by next Saturday. So let's proceed with our discussion. Okay, so without further ado, no, let us have the week number 6 under expert systems artificial intelligence. So let me expand the PowerPoint. So for an exploration, no, of the knowledge base. That is if we are referring for the expert system. Uh, that will capture, no, that will capture the human expertise and transform it into automated decision making tools. So for this representation, these are the agenda that we are about to discuss. The first one, we are going to talk about what are those fundamentals, no, when it comes to expert system. So for a moment, no, magbibigay lang ako ng talk saglit doon sa meeting. I'll gonna return siguro mga 5 minutes. Okay, wait for a moment, magto-talk lang ako saglit. Okay. So welcome back, no, to our discussion. So we have here as what we have earlier, no, the agenda to be discussed. The very first agenda that we have is the fundamentals of expert systems and the definition to be followed by the history and the uh, key characteristics of uh, becoming an expert systems. No, before you can consider that the system that you have developed uh, is an expert system or not uh, n- not capable of doing this particular characteristics. So there are several fundamentals that needs to be observed. And then, of course, the other one is the capabilities and the structure. So meaning the core capabilities of your expert system, the architectural components, and then what most likely the benefits and limitations. No, we're talking about the advantages. We're talking about the disadvantages, and then the constraints. No, of having an expert system, and then let us try also to talk about the real world application. Where can we use those expert systems, how expert systems are used across the different industries, no? And then let us try also to uh, think in advance, like considering what most likely the future trends, no, based on what is happening today. So, what most likely the future trends, like for example, the emerging developments and the integration with other artificial intelligence technologies, what most likely in the future can be integrated. Now, we have a question like, what is an expert system? This one is a form of artificial intelligence that emulates the decision making ability of a human expert in a specific domain or particular field, unlike conventional programs that can only solve problems through algorithms and data processing. If we are going to talk about the expert system, it solved problems by using knowledge base containing facts and heuristics, no, being combined with inference engine that applies logical rules to reach the conclusion. So it is not just by simply using uh, the available algorithms nowadays. And of course, even if you are using the historic facts, there are also several approach and technique that combines the algo o that particular algo capable of using the historical data. So usually doon, no, nilalapat ang tinatawag nating ML or machine learning approach, combining the algorithm's capability uh, with the help also of the historical data. So the algo uses the historical data uh, to to accurately determine the possible solution. I guess, Mr. Saldi Hikaw, your mic is open. So may I request Mr. Saldi to mute your mic? Ayan. Okay. So we have here, no, among the first truly successful forms of AI software, no, that was emerging in 1970s. You need also to consider, no, the year, and then 1980s as practical application of AI research. So that was during 1970s and 1980s. In historical context, I guess we're done already with this one, or maybe we have already an overview that during 1965 and 1970, the early research knowledge based system begins Stanford University with Dendral, no, the first expert system used to identify a known organic molecule. So based on that is based on the knowledge, no, being collected by particular research. So expert system will create an accurate uh, description of particular organic molecule. During 1965 and 1970s. Here it comes 1980s. No, commercial expert systems gain popularity with shells like Clips and languages like Prolog and Lisp programming. Lisp programming usually being used in compiler, no, in designing programming language capable of compiling line per line. So you can Lisp programming is very known also when it comes to that one. But let us not also forget that during 1970s and 1976, the mycin or MYCIN was developed at Stanford to diagnose blood infections and recommend antibiotics, introducing certain factors to handle uncertainty. So nowadays, there are several artificial intelligence capable of providing prescriptions, but you need to perform the knowledge-based approach in order for the prescription to become more accurate. You cannot just simply rely on the algorithm implemented in that particular application without considering the expert system or the knowledge-based approach, because there are also some recommendations generated by artificial intelligence as a result after running the algorithm. But if the algorithm is not using the knowledge-based historical data, you might end up of generating inaccurate prescription. So noong 1970s and 1976 na meron na, no, may na-develop na sila na MYCIN, no, to diagnose blood infection during that time. But nowadays, perhaps there are also several artificial intelligence capable of doing the same task, no? Pero that was 1970s and 1976 also developed the MYCIN, no, capable of doing those. In 1990s, no, up to present, we are having the evolution into hybrid systems integrating with machine learning kasi mas advanced, no, if we are trying to perform the algorithms machine learning approach with the help also of neural network and other AI techniques. So from a simple diagnostic with the help of machine learning, you are now making the AI more uh, uh, provides, no, more accurate, no, with the help of knowledge base together with the algorithm capability uh, using the technique of machine learning, at the same time the neural networks and other AI techniques. So mas nag-improve na nag-improve. So the history of expert systems parallels the broader development of artificial intelligence, representing one of AI's first commercially variable application. Okay, so what are those key characteristics of expert systems? They are having domain specificity, knowledge representation. They are having also a symbolic reasoning. They are having also a explanatory capability, and they are having also a heuristic approach. So these are the key characteristics of uh, expert system. So if your systems possess all of these characteristics, then your system can be considered as an expert system. Okay? So ano yung tinutukoy nating domain specificity? It means your system focus on narrow, specialized domains rather than general problem solving. Okay? So meaning to say, nowadays also narrow AI, no? booms in any field, industry man yan or academe man yan, or regular basis. We are we are enjoying the advantages of the available AI possess the capability of responding particular service. That particular AI can be considered as narrow AI. So almost all of the AI nowadays considered or fall into the focus of being a narrow AI, providing service, specialized domain for that particular service. So wait for a moment. Okay, so let us have continuation, no, for our discussion. Um, so these are the characteristics. Usually AI applications nowadays and systems, no, that integrates also AI capabilities. Usually ang gumagana ngayon more on narrow AI, no. There's no such general domains, no, or across domains AI capable of doing across domains task. Wala pa siya ngayon talaga. So meaning more on narrow AI pa ang nagbo-boom so far. So for knowledge representation, no, encoding of human expertise, alam na natin yun, symbolic reasoning, use symbols and rules rather than numerical processing. So instead of doing the computations, no, merong mga symbols and rules being followed by your AI to perform the decision making. Pwede din ganoon, magsiset ka lang ng rules, no, rule based ang tawag doon, no. Pag knowledge, knowledge based naman ang tawag doon. Okay? So explanatory capability can explain its reasoning process and justify recommendations. So magiging capable din ng explanatory yung expert system niyo, no, can provide reasoning why that prescriptions being prescribed by your artificial intelligence because of this reason. So meaning explanatory capability, expert systems possess also that particular capability. So kung merong ganon ang system nyo, then that system can be considered as expert system and capable of also of heuristic approach. Okay? So what are those core capabilities of expert systems? First, the knowledge acquisition, then to be followed by explanation generation, no? to be followed by inference and reasoning, to be followed by uncertainty management. So ito yon. So for knowledge acquisition, no, uh, under expert systems, this is the ability to acquire knowledge from human experts through interviews, observation, or automated learning. So, meaning to say, prior to the development or during the operation of your application. So, po pwede kasing you included the knowledge acquisition as part of your system's functionality. Pwede kasi yon. Pwedeng through sensors, pwedeng through microphones embedded into your system, controlled by your algorithm. You can perform interviews, no, that automatically being collected by your expert systems. So instead of conducting the interview manually, no, face to face. So pwedeng ganon. But the concern is your system is capable of acquiring the knowledge. Then that can be also a part of expert system. Explanation, providing transparent explanations for conclusions and recommendations. So your system not only provide uh, conclusions without explanations. So meaning to say there are descriptions, there are explanations about the reasons behind why you conduct why you come up with that particular solution. So if your system is capable of doing that, then it can be considered also as an expert system. So the third one is the inference and reasoning. No, if the system can draw solutions using rules, but there are several programs, no, the even though that program capable of uh, generating solutions based on the rules, but you can still not consider that as an expert system if it doesn't possess knowledge acquisitions and explanations generations. Kasi kung simple rule lang, then you cannot consider right away that the system is considered as an expert system. You can only consider your system as an expert system if your system is capable of knowledge acquisition and capable of explanations about the conclusions that being generated by your system. So there are always justifications why you recommended that particular recommendations. There are always justifications and explanations why you have come up with that particular conclusions. So meaning, it doesn't mean that the system possess rule-based decision making can be considered right away as an expert system. We have the first requirement being knowledge acquisition, and then being capable of explanatory. And then part lang ito, no, using rules. Another one is based on facts, no, based on facts. So meaning to say, if the system meets the first condition that performs decision making based on rules, there's another justification whether or not the data being diagnosed by your expert system is based on the real data. So meaning, tunay yung data na pumasok. If there are some noise data, then those data can affect the integrity of the generated output. Then your data will not become will not will not trying to base with the facts data being collected by your system. Another one is the logical inference method. So we called it forward chaining, backward chaining. So doon na pumapasok. And then the next one is the uncertainty management, handling incomplete or uncertain information. So if the data being collected, no, you are lacking of data that can be used for data analysis. So meaning to say, you need to perform uncertainty management. If the system is capable of doing that, like for example, you have collected missing values, no, you have several missing values, the system cannot directly perform the analysis without filling first those missing values. So meaning your system is capable of doing the task of trying to determine how many, how many rows containing missing values. If the system is capable of doing the mathematical computations of getting the mean and then filling those missing values with the mean value after getting the mean. And if the system is capable also of deciding whether or not to use the mean, to use the median, or to use the mode value to fill all of those missing values after collecting the data. So dapat capable siyang gawin yon. So if the answer is yes, then now you can consider your system as an expert system. So there are several capabilities when it comes to expert systems, starting with knowledge acquisition, explanation generation, inference and reasoning, and then uncertainty management. So those are the capabilities. Another one, we have the cycle. We have here the user interface, and then the knowledge base, and then the inference engine, and then the input data. So based on this particular cycle, we have the structure of an expert system. The base first, and then the inference engine to be followed by the user interface. So when we say the knowledge base, it is the the domain, specific knowledge in the form of facts to be followed by the rules, to be followed by the heuristics collected from human experts. Ito yung knowledge being collected whether or not manually or with the help of hardware integrated to your system or with the help of sensors. If you are trying to collect particular data based on actual expert human. Pag sinabi natin actual expert human, these are the experts in particular field, no? Kung sa IT, like for example, IT expert, no? Expert in data security, so you are acquiring those facts, no? Coming from human expert based on data security. You are acquiring facts coming from based on let's say machine learning. So you are acquiring those data coming from the human experts which expertise falls into machine learning. So yun lang ang tinutukoy ng human expert. Yun, okay? So regardless whether or not the data or the knowledge acquisition is in a form of traditional approach or in a form of automated approach. So regardless, basta ang tinutukoy dito sa structure, the first one is the knowledge base. The second one is the inference engine. So how it works? It will processes the knowledge base, no, the data being collected coming from the human expert using reasoning strategies to draw conclusions and make decisions. So if you are having a data coming from expert in particular field, here comes the inference engine can do the processing of the knowledge being collected coming from the experts. Doon na tinatawag yung tinatawag nating diagnostic, no? Diagnostic analysis and then the descriptive analysis. No, it will now diagnose the data, what happened, why it happened during that time, uh, when most likely these things to be happen and what are those reasons behind why it is happening. So doon niya nagda-diagnose. And then describe can perform now predictions and then prescriptions. And the last structure of expert system is the user interface. Of course, for the sake of simple representations, kaya gumagamit na ng user interface. It will facilitate interactions between the system and the users, allowing the input of facts and displaying results and explanations. Kaya as I mentioned earlier, uh, regardless whether or not you are already using or you are already integrating the approach of having your own control panel in a form of user interface that automatically collect the data or the facts, regardless whether or not it is traditionally being provided by the user in a form of text field or in a form of an automations, no? Coming from the report, it will automatically be collected with the help of your algorithm. Let's say from the image to text, automatically be imported to your database table with the help of your image processing algo. So regardless alin doon, no? Then the user interface uh, could help you to perform that in a more comprehensive and easy to use, no, for the ease of user interface or back uh, users and users, no, para hindi na sila mahirapang gumamit. Okay, so the next one is the knowledge representation in expert system. This is the method by which expert systems encode and structure information. The choice of representation affects the system's performance. Another one, the maintainability and the capability. So, yun. Paano mo represent yung knowledge? We are having we are having four different, no, representation. So you can do the what we call rule-based representation. Pag sinabi nating rule-based representation, you are going to assign conditions, no? Like for example, if and then rules, no, that captured conditional knowledge. Like for example, if symptoms is equal to fever and symptom is equal to cough, then possible diagnosis is equal to flu. So meaning, kung gusto nyo ganyan, naka-rule base siya, you are going to keep on doing the if statements and then statements. And then some of the rule base also being used can be used also with the case switch case approach, no, instead of using the if conditional statements, as long as you have provided or you have assigned anticipated anticipated reason. Yun lang yung downside, no, ng rule base if you are not yet using the machine learning. If you are using the rule base, you are going to list down what are those anticipated problems and then list down what are those equivalent anticipated solution for each anticipated problem. And then you can also create a correlation. So like for example, if this particular anticipated solution can be generated based on two different anticipated problems. Dito, two different anticipated problems, di ba? Fever and cough ang ina-anticipate na problem. If the user trying to provide that particular information, then most likely the diagnosis is flu. Okay? So if you are doing that particular conditional statement, then it falls into rule-based representation. Okay? You can also use the graphical representation of that or a tree form of representation or a node form of representation. Example, problem ito. So possible answer, reason, fever and cough. Then what most likely the solution? The output, the being diagnosed is flu. So pwedeng ganon. So that is the first example representation of an expert system. We have also the next one. Ano yung pangalawa? Pangalawa is the frame-based representation. The structured objects with attributes and the values that represents stereotypical situations. So meaning to say you're working with the attributes. So what most likely, pag sinabi nating attributes, these are the headers, no, that can be considered to come up with particular solutions. Parang ganito din siya sa if conditions, but what you are trying to include here is the frame imaginations of those attributes. Those are the objects, structured objects. Pag sinabi nating objects, yung parent object niya, like for example, uh, uh, entity name or case name, like for example, yung class mo na ito, treated as an object, and then what are those attributes, values, can be represents stereotypically situations. So if you're working with attributes, if you're working with columns names, no, meaning to say, yung dimensions, kung doon ka nagsusort ng diagnostic mo to come up with your prescription. So most likely you are using the frame-based representation. Nakuha niyo, class? So meaning to say, sa database mo, you are having different attributes, and then yung filter will be based on any of those attributes. Example, if you are looking for the attribute of age, ages, gender na lang, gender, which is male, then your solution will be generated based on that attribute name or attribute value of male. So lahat ng male, lahat ng decisions based on the male attribute sort. So if you're performing that particular process to come up with generating the solution, most likely you are using the what we call frame based representation. Pero kung nag if else ka, most likely you are using the role based representation. So those are the knowledge representation, no, still can be considered as part of your expert system. The third one is the semantic network. Ito din yung other form of expert systems representation in a form of graph structures with nodes, no, representing concepts and ages, representing relationships. Usually ginagamit natin ito doon sa tree, di ba? Doon sa tree representations, yung nagre-represent tayo ng nodes, nagre-represent tayo ng directions, nagre-represent tayo ng path. Okay? So, case-based representations is a collection of previous problem cases and their solutions for adaptation to new problems. So, dito magandang gamitin yung case approach of uh, case number one. If this is the problem, then this is the appropriate solution. Case number two, if this is the problem, then this is the appropriate solution. Case number three, if this is the problem, then this is the appropriate solution. So, meaning to say, you are using the case-based representation if that's what you have integrated into your source coding. So, we're talking about doon sa programming mismo. No? If you're using the if statement rule-based. Dalawa lang naman, marami nagkamali dyan. No? They are thinking of the rule-based, but what they represented into a source coding, they are using the case basis, switch case. So meaning to say, if you're using the switch case, you're using the case-based representation. If you are using the if and then statement, you are using the rule-based representation. Ang tatandaan nyo lang, kapag it starts with if, then you are using rule-based. If it starts with, if you are using case to case, then you are using the case-based representation. Ganyan lang naman kadali. Then pag semantic, nodes kagad. Meaning to say graphs. Yung mga circle, circle A, circle B. So yung ganong representation can be treated as a semantic network. Okay? So here comes the inference methods. Balikan natin yung dito kanina. Ito yun, di ba? Knowledge base. We're done with the knowledge base. Under ng knowledge base representations, ito yon. We have the rule base, we have the frame base, we have the semantic, we have the case base. Okay? Ito yung knowledge base. Now, for inference engine, next, ito na yon. Inference methods. We are having the forward chaining. We are having also the backward chaining. So, sir, what's the difference between the forward and the backward chaining? Forward chaining is a data-driven reasoning that starts with available facts and applies rules to reach the conclusions. While the backward chaining, it is a goal-driven reasoning that starts with the hypothesis and seeks evidence to support it. So meaning to say you have already a context of doing this for the sake of completing or reaching your goal. So to do that, you need to prove first whether or not that goal is feasible. So ang tawag doon, backward chaining. Tinatry mong, tinatry mong i-prove, tinatry mong i-justify yung goal mo, no, na totoo. So, meaning to say, para siyang nagre-reverse engineering ka. Sa atin, ang terminology, backward chaining ang tawag doon. You have already your goal, then ang kailangan mo na lang is to justify that that goal is feasible. Ngayon, it might results into positive results, it might also result into negative results during the conduct of diagnostic. And if it is being described that during the justification your goal is impossible to be completed, then that falls into a negative result. Meaning to say, hindi na magkakatotoo yung goal mo. So, ahead of time pa lang, before starting your project, you know already that your goal is very impossible. Nakuha nyo? So yung iba, tinatapatan nila yan ng feasibility study. Okay? So backward chaining yun. You have already your goal, and then you need to perform hypothesis whether or not that hypothesis is accepted or not accepted. So ipoprove mo yun, i-justify if the solutions and justifications results into positive results, meaning to say your goal is possible. If it results into negative, then the hypothesis rejected, your goal is very impossible. So there's no need for you to continue with your project. So paano ba nangyayari yon? Backward chaining begins with the goal and works backward, pabalik, and then efficient when focus on specific questions. Example, troubleshooting and specific technical issues. Yung, ang problema lang dyan, you might encounter several uh, wrong interpretation. Kung titignan mo yan sa actual and real life, eh di ba kung goal mo ayusin, like for example, sa literal, kung goal mo ayusin yung laptop mo, yung laptop mo, right, like for example, is lagi, no? Hindi masyadong nagre-response. Ang goal mo is to speed up the response of your laptop. Ngayon, mayroong instances, no, na ang backward chaining doesn't apply. Pero usually ginagawa siya in a real life scenario. But if you do not know how to perform the backward chaining properly, you might encounter errors during the process. Like for example, without doing the investigations, ang goal mo is to speed up the response of your laptop. Nag-change ka kaagad ng memory. In-increase mo kaagad yung memory. Okay nga naman, backward chaining, because your goal is to speed up your laptop. But the problem is, you did not consider whether or not the the memory that you have added into your laptop anchored, no, or we called it aligned with the processor that you are currently having in your machine. So kapag hindi yung nag-match, no, hindi yung nag-match, there is no effect when it comes to the time response. Hindi pa rin niya mas-speed up yon because the the capacity of your random access memory is not uh, compatible with the processor that you are having in your laptop, no, kahit lagyan mo pa yan ng 18 GB of random access memory, if your laptop processor is not capable of using all of those available memory, then it will not affect the speed of your laptop. So that's the time that the backward chaining doesn't applies in that particular solution. So ginawa nating literal yung example. Same as well as with your projects, no? If your goal is this one, try to perform the hypothesis, most likely ito yung magiging result pag gagamitin natin to. Then perform the backward chaining, try to justify whether or not it is feasible. If the result is positive, then continue with your project. If the result is negative, then do not continue with your project. Forward chaining, ito naman yung data-driven. Kukuha ka muna ng mga facts, no, before you finally conclude whether or not ito yung nangyayari. Okay? So, data-driven reasoning starts with available facts, applies rules, risks, and conclusions. Begins with known data and works forward. Useful when there are many possible conclusions. Example, medical diagnostic starts from symptoms. So, you are going now to collect several data related to that symptoms. If you collected several symptoms, what most likely the equivalent uh, equivalent disease, no, for this particular symptoms. So meaning to say, mayroong facts, you have collected already facts coming from the previous data. So ang tawag doon forward chaining. You are not trying to solve the problem started with the goal. You are trying to look for the problem by simply by sim by simply collecting the data uh, from the previous historical data, and then match that particular data based on the process what most likely the equivalent problem that might occur. So meaning to say, hindi goal kaagad ang tinutuloy nyo. Kino-collect mo na yung data. So that's the difference of forward chaining and backward chaining. Now let's dive with the benefits of having the expert system. Obviously, obviously, it will increase the efficiency. Uh, when it comes to the consistency, also will provide consistent answer for repetitive decisions, transactions, or tasks. No, it will reduce also the error states if you are dealing with the expert systems. Knowledge preservation, no, capture the preserve uh, scarce expertise that might otherwise be lost due to retirement or turnover. So meaning it will keep all, no, preserved in that particular memory. Hindi siya nawawala, no, regardless who operates that particular system. They cannot simply delete the data because there are rules applied in that particular system. So whenever the data needed by the next IT expert or by the next staff in that particular office, expert system can provide those knowledge needed for the particular process. Kasi the data cannot be simply deleted by anyone. Kasi nga, it captures, it preserves, no, and then it can be uh, turned over into the next officer. Explainability, no, knowledge distribution, and then integration of capability. However, there are some limitations also, no, when it comes to expert systems. One of those is when it comes to the knowledge acquisition. Yun yung bottleneck niya, no? Extracting the knowledge from human experts is time consuming, expensive, and sometimes difficult. But nowadays, we are having, with the help of several artificial intelligence, we can easily extract the knowledge coming from, so far, no, coming from different image format, different file format, whether or not it is in a form of an audio, form of a video, form of a text, or form of an image. So we are having already several AI capable of extracting all of those knowledge coming from different data format. So lucky to us nowadays kasi meron na yon. But before, bottleneck nila is knowledge extractions, no, in an absence of AI capability of extracting the data. That was before, but nowadays there are several AI tool that can extract the data easily. Okay, next one, the domain specificity, no, system are limited. Yun yung problem, no, another limitation ng expert system, limited to narrow. Until now, no, there's no such across domains capability. There's no such AI nowadays capable of performing the task across domains. Wala pa. So all of those AI nowadays can be considered as narrow. So kaya one of the limitations now, especially in expert systems, is the domain specificity. Systems are limited and narrow domains and cannot easily transfer knowledge across any domains. No? So kung yung domains na yun na related dito, you transfer to the next domain which is not directly related with the previous domain, there's no such AI capable of doing that. You need to use another AI capable of doing particular task for that specific domain. So kaya meron tayong AI for questioning, meron tayong AI for this to generate this particular content, meron tayong AI for video, meron tayong AI. So what happened today, if you notice, they are trying to consolidate several AI to produce one product, one item, 'di ba? Kung video 'yon, you need to use AI capable of generating your image. You need to use another AI capable of converting that image into an image that can move, no, from image that doesn't move. You need to use another AI to convert that image, no, so that image will move. You need to use that AI also to capture your voice, to integrate that into your image that being converted into a motion. So it looks like you are having already a video coming from your static image, but it doesn't comes from one one single AI. You are using different AI, and then you need also to use another AI that is capable of converting your converted image into motion image together with your voice to make a video of you, no, but you are not actually doing the video. So i-generate niya yung video. But it comes from different AI. So meaning there is no such, no, nowadays there is no such single AI capable of performing across domain. So sa ngayon, limited pa to narrow AI. If we're talking about expert systems. Okay? So, to be clear, if we're talking about expert systems, the limitations, all of those are most likely narrow domain. So, single uh, single task. No, kung ano yung design niya na AI, yun yung kaya niyang gawin. Okay? Another limitation is the lack of common sense. Common sense is uh, natural to us, no, as a human, but as a machine, wala yan sa kanila. They're just simply following instructions. They cannot apply general knowledge or intuition that humans use naturally. They are performing the task based on the instructions provided by the human. So babalik pa rin sa human. Okay? So that's another limitation of uh, expert system. Another one is the maintenance challenges. Updating knowledge base can be complex and required specialized skills. That's the reason why most of the knowledge based systems, no, that can be considered as expert systems, they are very time consuming when it comes to the development. So they more often use an agile approach or a scrum approach to complete the entire system. So they were forced to split that into different sprint of development. So they will listen uh, the error being encountered during the development. So yun yung another limitations ni expert system, yung challenges when it comes to the maintenance. Okay? Kasi you need to collect another knowledge. Like for example, if the knowledge being collected is within the range of 2010 up to 2016, then your expert system is not capable of generating solutions based on the problems being encountered starting from 2017 onwards, because the knowledge being collected range is started only with 20, let's say 2010 up to 2016. So you need to update the knowledge collected. So you need to start collecting knowledge before your expert system performs accurate prescription. Yun yung downside, no, when it comes to the maintenance. So yan yung another limitations of working with the expert system. So the developer needs to be updated. Okay. So difficulty with uncertainty, another limitation of expert system. You may struggle with highly uncertain or ambiguous situations despite of uncertainty management mechanism. Kasi there are unanticipated scenario that might be encountered by your expert system. So wala na yun dun sa instructions, di ba? It doesn't even included in your knowledge base because that scenario is not yet being collected by your expert system. So expert system cannot generate conclusions, cannot generate prescriptions without basis, without historical data. So at first, application Puwede natin siyang i-apply sa MYCN, doon sa historical natin 'no. One of the earliest expert systems developed by Stanford in 1970s to diagnose blood infections and recommend uh, anticipated or assigned no dedicated antibiotics for that particular blood infections. Another one application no, of expert system is clinical decision support. So it will assist the physicians with diagnosis and treatment planning by analyzing patients' data and medical knowledge. Another one is the drug interactions checking. Identify potential adverse infections between medications, accounting for patient-specific factors. And the last one is the medical image analysis. No? Another application. So these are all applications yung ginagamit. Saan sila nagagamit? Yung expert systems. Ginagamit sila dito, no? Historical, clinic decisions, drug interactions, checking, and medical image analysis. Example, modern hybrid systems combine expert systems rules with machine learning to analyze X-ray, MRIs, and other medical images. Okay, so the next one is the applications of expert systems when it comes to the businesses and finance. So the first one is the fraud detection. We have also the credit assessment. We have also the tax planning, and we can also have the investment advisory. So ito yung mga applications niya when it comes to business and finance. So what most likely the function? For fraud detection, the function is to analyze, no, to analyze the transaction patterns to identify potentially fraudulent activities in banking and credit card system. So the other one application is the credit assessment. No? Like for example, it will automatically evaluate the loan applications using complex rules that considered various financial and personal factors. And then another application is the tax planning. It will navigate complex tax regulations to optimize financial decisions and ensure compliance. And the last one is it can be also used as investment advisory or advisor for investment advisory. It will provide portfolio recommendations based on client goals and then risk tolerance and market conditions. For financial expert systems are often combined, no, traditional rule-based approach with modern data analytics and machine learning techniques that handle the complexity and volatility of the financial markets. Another applications, no, we have also an additional applications for manufacturing, for geology, for software engineering, and for military and defense. Ito yung mga additional expert systems applications. For the future trends, ano yung mga expected natin no, for the future? Most likely, no, yung mga emerging trends natin, hybrid systems, integrations with machine learning, neural networks, and other AI techniques. Let's say automated knowledge acquisitions, like for example, using natural language processing to extract the knowledge from text. No, mga future trends, cloud-based expert systems, like for example, accessible anywhere with continuous updates no, of XNAI integration, combining with explainable AI to maintain transparency while improving the capabilities. So to end up with this week slides no, of expert systems, these are the takeaways. No? The expert systems capture human expertise in a structured computer usable form. They consist of a knowledge base interface or interference engine and use interface. So these are the takeaways. Up to the future lies hybrid approaches that combine symbolic reasoning data driven methods. So that would be for the week number 6, no? First learning material, also posted in our Google Classroom. So let's proceed with the next learning material as an overview of our next topic. We have here the rule-based expert system foundation of AI decision making. And then the next one is the rule-based expert systems itself before we proceed with our midterm examination. So let me open the role-based expert system foundation of AI for the decision making. 'Di ba, especially for students performance evaluation, we are using the role-based decision making with the help of unit testing, a library of Python, no, to test the result of accuracy and the result of speed and the result of completeness of the data. Dito tayo ngayon. Okay? First slide. So let's mention the agenda. The first one, the fundamentals. The second one, the role as knowledge representation. The third one is the structure of the rule-based expert systems. The fourth one is the development and implementation, and then the last one is the real world application. So these are the topic to be discussed. If we are going to talk about uh, the knowledge, no, ito included na rin sa previous natin, no, the AI intelligence, no, na mention na natin to. So when we say knowledge in AI context, it will refers to the information that is unang-una structured and organized. Secondly, actionable and applicable. Third one is contextual and domain specific. Okay? So if we're talking about AI, kasi domain specific siya because unlike human, we are dealing across domains. In artificial intelligence knowledge, it is domain specific kasi nga narrow. So specifically designed for this particular function. Okay? So the next one is the capable of being reasoned with. Like for example, unlike raw data or information, knowledge incorporates relationships, patterns, and rules that enable intelligence decision making. Ito yung difference niya with the human knowledge. The artificial intelligence is relying on the relationships, relying on the patterns, and relying on the rules. It doesn't perform diagnostic. It doesn't perform descriptive analysis. It doesn't perform predictive analysis. It doesn't perform prescriptive analysis without having a data that could result into relationship, having the data that could result into pattern finding, having the data uh, that could result into uh, the solutions based on the rules being assigned. So in the absence of those, there will be no generated descriptions. There will be no generated predictions and prescriptions. So that's how the artificial intelligence knowledge work. Unlike human intelligence, no. So tayo, we don't need to train our brain to perform the uh, to search and look for the structured data to decide whether or not there's a relationship within this particular object together with the previous object that we encountered. As a human, we naturally determine the relationship given na no sa human knowledge natin. But in a machine or artificial intelligence, there should be a structured and organized data and then to be followed by actionable and applicable with the specific domain to perform the reasoning. So yun yung downside. But the advantage, the machine is not limited with organic brain unlike human. Tayo, limited tayo with our organic brain. Kaya we extend our we extend our memory into a form of in a hardware form. So the machine will try to store those information extended to the artificial memory. So doon na nagpe-play ng big role yung mga machines and memory storage in the form of hardware to serve as a tool to extend our knowledge storage or information storage. So we cannot overuse our natural storage, no? The organic storage that what we have, we cannot overuse with the help of we will not overuse with the help of the hardware, no? So doon papasok yung tinatawag nating hardware. Uh, Plays significant role when it comes to storing the data. So there's no need for us to memorize, to search for actual question. We can just simply use the AI to look for particular solution. Meron tayo ditong mga types of knowledge in AI system. The first one, declarative knowledge. The second one, procedural knowledge. The third one, the historic knowledge. And the fourth one is the meta knowledge. So what's the difference among those knowledge or type of knowledge? When we say declarative knowledge, ito yung mga facts about objects, events, and their relationships. Example, no? The very example that under the declarative knowledge is a cat is a mammal. So we declare that that particular animal, a cat itself, is a mammal form. So we declare no that that is a mammal under the mammalia uh, type of animal. Or Portland is in Oregon. So declarative siya. Kasi we are certain that this particular object or event can be concluded as particular descriptions. So yung verb, dinidescribe niya conclusively, meaning to say, final kagad, na ito kagad siya. Yung objects described by your verb. Kagaya nito. A mammal describes a cat that the cat is a mammal. Uh, Oregon locates the locations is in Oregon. That the noun Portran is in Oregon. Okay? So meaning to say, may conclusions na siya from the previous objects mo. So we called it declarative. You declare that this one is a mammal and you declare that this one located in the at the Oregon or is in the Oregon. So another types of knowledge in AI system is the procedural. So how it works, no? Paano siya gumagana? Instructions for how to perform specific task. So meaning to say, uh, this one is the step by step diagnose step of diagnose a disease or troubleshoot computer problems. Kaya we are having procedural approach of providing the instructions. Meron din tayong, ito yun siya, procedural knowledge. Meron din tayong, uh, meron din tayong linking approach of solving the problem and object approach of solving the problem. So, ang known lang naman dyan, no, that needs to be remember is the procedural approach follows from the very first up to the very last step of your problem solving. So kapag ginagawa mo yon step by step, most likely you are using the procedural knowledge type of artificial intelligence system. Okay? So how about the heuristic knowledge? There are rules or thumb that guide reasoning under uncertainty. Ito yung example natin kanina sa tinatawag nating rule-based decision making, no? Rule-based knowledge. Example, if sky is dark and the barometer is falling, then it might is failing, it might rain. So if and statement can be used for the historical or heuristic knowledge approach. So the next one is the meta knowledge. These are the knowledge about knowledge, how to use other knowledge effectively. So meaning to say, kasi yung metadata, usually na ginagamit siya sa attributes of particular object. So what are those attributes together with that particular object? Pwede rin yun. Meaning to say, what are those knowledge accompanied with the knowledge that you have collected? Example, you have collected this information. What are those information accompanied with that entire information? Kaya sa definition ni meta knowledge dito, knowledge about knowledge. So, what knowledge have you collected? You need to look for those attributes that define and describes the individual attributes of that knowledge. Now, you are going to generate individual knowledge out of general knowledge. Kaya ang definition dito, knowledge about knowledge. Example, knowing when certain rules should take precedence over others. Example lang yan. Okay? So the next one, knowledge representation techniques. Ito na yung kanina, no? Na-explain na natin to, semantic, if you're using the graphs, rules, if you're using the conditional statements, frames, if you are using the structured collections of attributes, meaning to say, yung mga headers mo, you converted that into a structure or might be tabular. So meaning you are considering the frames, no? Knowledge techniques. Logical, if you are uh, using the predictive logic and proportional logic. So ganyan lang yung pinaka representation niya. So for rule based, ito na yon. If then, pwede kayong gagamit nito. If then statements. Yung best example natin coming from the previous slide. So example of rule based, gaya nito, medical diagnostic example. Rule number 1, you can actually assign several rules. So like for example, rule number 1, if the patient has fever and the patient has cough, then the patient may have respiratory infection. Okay? So in absence of those conditions, like for example, if in absence of fever, in absence of cough, so there's another rule. Or maybe if the patient has respiratory infection and the patient has shortness of breath, then order chest X-ray rule. Ito yung magiging solution niya. So what if hindi pa rin ganon? So third rule, if chest X-ray shows uh, infiltrates and patient has respiratory infection, then diagnose is pneumonia. So ito yung final approach. And then this is the very best example of using the rule-based knowledge under rule-based expert system. So in short, if you are using if statement, then you are performing the rule-based approach of developing your expert system. Do you follow? So yun lang yun. And then yung chaining, di ba? Meron kayong chaining, modularity, and then transparency. So kapag ganon ang kinoconsidered mo for chaining, the rule build upon each other with conclusions from other rules becoming conditions for the later one. Ang tawag doon chaining. Kagaya nito, saan nag-a-apply ang chaining? Kagaya ng rule number 2, ito. Dito nag-a-apply ang chaining. If you notice, if the first rule uh, did not meet the condition, so nagpo-proceed ka sa second rule. If the patient has respiratory infection and the patient has shortness of breath, you need to ask the patient to request for the chest x-ray. Di ba? So kapag nag-chest x-ray na siya, the result of chest x-ray can serves as an input. So sa chaining dito, with conclusions from earlier rules, ano yung earlier rules? Yung rule number 2. So whatever the conclusion coming from rule number two as a result of X-ray rule can serve as an input for the second rule or for the third rule. Ito na yun, di ba? Uh, Earlier rule becoming conditions for the later ones. Alin yung later ones dito? Yung third rule. Ito. If the chest x-ray, yung chest x-ray result is coming from as a result of the previous rule. You requested the patient to request a chest x-ray, and then after getting the result of chest x-ray, that will serve the output coming from the chest x-ray will serve as an input for the third rule. If the chest x-ray shows uh, infiltrates and patient has respiratory infection, then the diagnose is pneumonia. So meaning mayroong chaining, no? Yung rule number 2 and rule number 3. When we say chaining, na tumutuloy, no? Tumutuloy yung process from second rule to the third rule. So we called it chaining. And then, di ba earlier, we have mentioned, we have forward chaining and then backward chaining if you are looking for the possibilities of your project to be improved. Dito naman, ginamit yung chaining doon sa rule-based knowledge for decision making, for prescriptive analysis. So, ang diagnose na dito, descriptive analysis. The diagnostic analysis ang ginagamit dito. Diagnose niya is pneumonia. So, ginamitan ng chaining. Okay? Modality. Each rule captures discrete piece of knowledge that can be independently validated. So like for example, module number 1, module number 2, module number 3. So modular naman ang ginagawa. So uh, if you if you perform chaining for module number 1, you can also perform chaining for module number 2 if the chaining approach is present for that module. Situational pa rin yun, ano? Pag sinabing modularity, you created different modules or maybe different sprint. Pwede rin yun. Sprint number 1, module number 1. Sprint number 2, module number 2. And so on. How about the transparency? The transparency of the reasoning process explicitly and traceable through the rule chain. Yung iba, they intentionally hid the rule for the purpose of not showing how the diagnostic analysis being performed back end. So, pero dapat ipapakita nyo yun following the rule of being transparent. Okay? So, ano yung advantage ng rule-based representation? Its naturalness, its modularity, its explainability, and its uncertainty handling. Yun yung pinaka-advantage kapag nagro-role-based ka. No? Mimics human expert reasoning truths conditions through tough condition logic. Domain experts can often articulate their knowledge if and then format. Easy to explain, no? Can be traced their reasoning through rule change. Conclusion can be justified by showing which rule fired and why. Then being modularity, you can perform each rule is an independent knowledge unit. Rule can be added, modified, or removed without disrupting the entire system. Module per module, no? Like for example, module number 2 needs to be updated without compromising the other module. You are only working with the module number 2. Uncertainty handling can be extended with confidence factors of fuzzy logic, allows reasoning with incomplete or uncertain information. So for the expert system, knowledge base, user interface, and then the inference engine, ito na yung na-mention natin from the previous slide. Same as the core component. Ito rin yun, mga core components din yun. Yung knowledge, yung inference engine, at saka yung user interface. Yun din yung core components of expert system. Parang naulit lang siya no, doon sa slides natin previously. Forward chaining, ito na rin yun. Na-explain na rin natin how the forward chaining happen. Ganito siya in our visualization. For forward chaining, uh, Fonfure testing, then the facts, conclusion, conclusion, and then facts for backward chaining. In short, para di kayo malito dito sa cycle, forward chaining starts with collecting the facts for to be guided to come up with your final solution or final goal. Now, backward chaining, you are thinking about your goal and then you are trying to justify whether or not that goal is feasible. So you need to work with the process to justify and to prove that the goal is possible. So there might be two different results. It might result into positive result. It might result into negative results. Meaning to say, positive results shows that the goal can is feasible, so you may continue with your project creation. It might also result into negative. The goal is very impossible uh, to be completed due with the help of your process. Then there's no need for you to continue with the goal. So meaning to say, sinilip mo muna yung goal mo, you try to justify whether or not it is feasible. If the result is negative, then you can easily decide not to continue with your project. So yun yung tulong ng backward chaining. Ina-anticipate mo na kaagad. But if it is being justified that the project is feasible, so nagkakaroon din kayo ng idea to continue with your project. Uh, the very prior to the actual date to start working with your project. So yun yung advantage naman ng backward chaining. So for the additional expert systems component, explanatory knowledge acquisition module and then working with memory. Yun din yung kanina, no? Knowledge acquisition, knowledge representation, implementation, testing and refinement, and then deployment and maintenance. Parang ito yung pinaka-cycle that is also included in systems development life cycle that is being extracted also into different uh, methodology of development. O di ba nakikita nyo rin dito sa role-based expert systems. So meaning to say, these are this is common in any, whether or not in a systems development life cycle or the methodologies currently existing nowadays, also present in the role-based expert systems development. Real-world application, pwede nagagamit sa medical diagnose, financial, ito na rin yung nabanggit natin kanina, manufacturing and customer support. Okay, takeaways, you can just simply read the takeaways. I guess that's all for our discussions, no? So at least, no, we are done already with week number 7. So we are having already an advanced discussion about week number 7. So let me do the print screen for week number 7 for us to be reminded that we are already having an advanced discussion for this one. So let me upload first the learning material print screen rather under week number 7. Then as early as this week, you may start working with your reviewer, no, right away, because we are already approaching to your midterm examination. We are now already on week number 6. You are only having a remaining of 2 weeks before your midterm examination. For a moment. Yung ngayon, 3:09. 3:09. 3:08, 3:09. Screenshot. 4C, no? 4C, week 7, 4B naman tayo, 4B. CS 4B, 4B. Ay, CS Elect, CS Elect 3. Ayun, 4B, 4C. Ay, um, di pumasok sa 4C, no? Pumasok ba sa 4C? Ayun, ngayon lang. Okay. So I guess no, that's all for our for today's discussion. So let me just remove the shared screen, and then your attendance is already recorded with the help of attendance tracker. Thank you for joining. Have a nice day. See you next meeting, and God bless us all. So let me generate first your attendance. Teka nga pala. Yung kinano, check ko lang muna. Gahuman. What section are you, Gahuman?
4B po, sir.
Gahuman. 4B. Okay. Ito pala yung 4B. Okay. 4B. Tapos itong isa, 4C. Ito, 4B. 4B ito. Bakit ayaw? Ayaw, ayaw. Ayan. Ito, 4B. Ito lang yung downside ng ano, attendance. Hindi nakalagay yung ano, section, no? So, 4B. 25, 26. 4B. Okay. Okay, so 4B, we're done. I'm gonna close now the Google Meet for 4B.